Winona, Madison, a good Karma Brands radio station on Wisconsin.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good afternoon, Madison. I'm Ryan Wollersheim, and this is your Sports Center Update. Once again, brought to you by Mr. Irrelevant. Join Alex Strofe and a featured special guest every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, exclusively streaming on ESPN Madison's social media platforms. And subscribe to hear the Mr. Irrelevant podcast on Wisconsin On Demand and wherever you get your podcasts. Today's guest with Alex Strofe was former Badgers cornerback Sojourn Shelton. They talked about the Packers and the Badgers both getting big wins over the weekends. The Packers improving to 4-6 on the season as Jordan Love had a career-high 322 passing yards against the Chargers during a 23-20 win. That's the first time the Packers have had over 300 yards passing a game since the 2021 season. They now have a quick turnaround before playing the Lions for the early game on Thanksgiving Day. Meanwhile, Badgers football pulling off a comeback overtime win against the Nebraska Cornhuskers 24-17 at Camp Randall, sending the seniors off with a victory. Badgers now bowl eligible for the 22nd season in a row, taking on the rival Minnesota Golden Gophers on the road this week. Then the Milwaukee Bucks got back-to-back wins over the weekend, and they play the Washington Wizards at 6 p.m. tonight. Pre-game coverage starts at 5:30 immediately following Rutledge and Hamilton.
Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
You got the chill.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
This is Rutledge and Hamilton with Jim Rutledge and Matt Hamilton.
People like me.
That's some booty, Jim.
Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
Everyone is so mean to me.
I am Jim Rutledge.
You never go full Rutledge.
Ayahuasca.
If I had to rate the show,
Well, who's number one?
Rutledge and Hamilton show.
Oh, get out.
I just call it Rutledge.
I believe it's Rutledge and or Hamilton is what they're trying to go.
That was clever.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio. With Matt Hamilton, here's Jim Rutledge.
You heard it there, folks. Best show on the stations on ESPN Wisconsin. Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's Crush the Coors Light,
That's
baby.
not the
Good to
raspy
be
voice
back.
of Matt Hamilton. Where's your fun little bobblehead character? What would you call that? The caricatures of Rutledge and Hamilton. Have you seen that? At Jim and Matt.
have, yeah.
You can go to at Jim and Matt and see caricatures of me and Matt Hamilton, created by our design team here at ESPN Wisconsin. Because, you know, we do have the best show, obviously, on ESPN Wisconsin.
So I'm glad you bring it up, Jim, because I do have a take on this.
Okay.
I like it. I have two issues, though. Number one, it doesn't really look that much like you. Your eyes are way too far apart within the caricature.
Yes.
And then the other issue I have with it is it's clear whoever drew this drew Matt's hair very womanly. Very feminine hair on Matt Hamilton.
Well, women did try.
His hair is much more crisp, I would say, because he doesn't wash it very often. So it's good. I'd give it like in terms of realistic character, I'd give it like a 7 out of 10.
And I guess so two parts to it. One, I don't have any artistic skill, so I was like, you know what?
You do not.
Close enough. And you're right. I would say, like, out of me, it's like a 6.
Yeah.
Out of 6.5, maybe. Because, like, if you saw Matt and I together, you'd be like, okay, I know.
This will probably be the only nice thing I say to you today, because I know you're going to have takes on Jordan Love, and I'm going to be irrational about Jordan Love, and we're going to fall somewhere completely distant from one another. But I will say this. You are much more handsome than that character.
Well, I appreciate that. Now, the one thing they got right on Matt, one with his mouth wide open, is just absolutely hilarious.
That's fair.
But then two, and again, if you are just tuning in, you can go to @Jim&Matt on Twitter and follow us, and you can see these caricatures of us. Matt's head is huge, and Matt Hamilton does have a massive head, literally and figuratively.
No, that's true.
He has a massive ego and a massive head to contain that ego. But he's Alex Strofe. I am Jim Rutledge. Get into the show, 844-770-3776. It is Overreaction Monday, so call in with your overreaction, or you can text in with your overreaction, 844-770-3776. Jordan Love, obviously, people are very excited about. Packers now are going to the playoffs. Everyone's excited about that. Look, Alex, I'll send it to you first. What's your overreaction?
My overreaction is Jordan Love is starting to show us he's the guy.
What do you mean by the guy?
By the guy, I mean he can be the franchise quarterback. I'm not saying.
And what do you mean?
I'm not saying.
QB.
But I'm not saying put a gold jacket on him. I'm not saying give him the MVP award. I'm saying he is good enough. Jimmy G, Jared Goff. You put the right pieces around him, he will be good enough to get you to the promised land. That is what I've seen the last 2 weeks specifically. And yes, it's an overreaction. And yes, it's irrational. And yes, it's reactionary. But what I saw yesterday from Jordan Love was, number one, it was the best game he's played as a Green Bay Packer, hands down. Number two, that poise that we've always complimented since the preseason continues to develop and continues to show up. He's making better throws. He's not heel-clicking when he's throwing the football. Matt LaFleur schemed the offense yesterday better than he has all season long in terms of the wide receivers. And you're realizing here in Week 11, Game 10 for the Packers, the best 2 receivers on this football team are rookies. Dontavian Wicks and Jaden Reed are the best 2 receivers on this team. Romeo Doubs may like a word, but of those 3 guys plus Christian Watson, that's 4 receivers that are either rookies or in their second year. And if you're a Packers fan like I am, you have to be absolutely jacked up that you get to see another 3 years of these 4 receivers developing together with or without Jordan Love. But what we saw yesterday tells me it will be with Jordan Love because he looked really damn good yesterday. That's my
Adam
overreaction.
Madison chimes in. J. Love finally went from tossing the ball to slinging the pill.
Yeah, I agree.
He did look good. I do not disagree with that. The only disagreement I have with your statement is that I do not call Jimmy G or Jared Goff franchise QBs.
Jared Goff, you have to.
Because, well, here's the thing. Even now in Detroit, they talk about what are we doing to replace? Like, Jared Goff is going to be the reason why we don't win a Super Bowl.
They're 8-2, though.
But that's what they're talking about in Detroit.
But they're not talking about replacing Jared Goff in an 8-2 football team, Jim. That's just not true.
But when you're looking at this team, why would you pick them to Detroit? Like, Jared Goff's on a franchise QB because you're talking about a one-off season. Franchise QB, it means
2
that
off. He was good last year, too.
But when you start a season, and I go franchise QB, that's Aaron. There's not many of them. It's like the idea of a number one, like an ace pitcher. It's Aaron Rodgers, it's Patrick Mahomes. And when the season starts, no matter what your roster is, you feel like you got a chance to win a Super Bowl.
Okay, well, that's a fundamental misunderstanding between the two of us on the definition of franchise quarterback.
Well, it's not a you're right. We have different definitions. Not a misunderstanding, because I just hold it to a higher standard. If you want to tell me that
potato.
Well, Jordan Love, I think, can be and I always said this, like, he will be a guy, and that's how I describe Jimmy G and Jared Goff. He could be a guy that you can win with, but not because of. And that's because you could sub out Jimmy G for Jared Goff in their primes, and you really wouldn't notice a difference. That's how this offense, both those guys in an offense that the Packers run, he had it. And so this offense is very much about the coach. And the coach just wants an avatar for himself out there and just run what I ask you to run and make the throws I want you to throw. And Jordan Love fits that.
Yeah.
You just do what I ask you to do, throw the ball to where I want you to throw it, and throw it on time. Now, we have to account for at some point, there has not been a more perfect scenario for Jordan Love to have a big statistical game when you talk about pressures against them and the defense he was going against since Chicago. And this is the best game he's played since the first game of the year. Now, I'm not writing it off because maybe this time around it's been figured out. But also, Matt LaFleur has made some changes to his offense, which means defenses are going to adjust to that. So what happens with the next adjustment? What happens when Jordan Love gets pressured again? Because everyone talks about how he looks calm. He's got a calm face. But, like, I was at the Minnesota game. His throws are not calm throws. Like, he just a good demeanor on his facial expressions. But the way he plays, he got sped up against Pittsburgh and Minnesota and Detroit. And
Pittsburgh, he was good against. Detroit, he was really bad against. Minnesota, he was bad against.
He was not good. He was average against Pittsburgh. Like, again, we're too nice on this stuff.
Well,
I'm
using the scale of Jordan Love.
Okay.
Right?
I'm using the scale as an actual quarterback.
No, right. That's not.
And I think
it's
again,
impossible.
So
to
we're
view
not
through
that far
lens.
off on
No, we're not.
on Jordan Love.
No.
I do think that Jordan Love will end up as a Jimmy G, Jared Goff type. Now the problem is both those guys bounce to different teams, but also when they get paid, Derek Carr, I think, is in this mix too. When they get paid,
good pull.
Now you have to then figure out how to build a roster around a guy who's getting paid. And if Jordan Love plays like this, unfortunately for Packer fans, you're going to cut him a check for 4 years, $120 million at the end of the year.
Yeah, and
then immediately the entire complexion of the team changes.
But yes, but I think that was also the vision, right? And so my other overreaction in terms of the Packers at large, more so than just Jordan Love, is yesterday was the first time this season I can say, hey, Brian Gutekunst, I get it, bro. Like, I understand the vision now. I understand why the youth movement was what you were moving toward and what you were trying to accomplish with this roster. It's the first time I've gotten it because you saw the flashes. You look at every, and not to be Johnny Box Score, Jimmy, but just to look at every major statistical category yesterday. Leading rusher was wide receiver Jaden Reed. He's a rookie. Leading receiver was Dontavian Wicks. He's a rookie. Leading pass deflector defensively was Carrington Valentine, who started in place of Jair Alexander. He's a rookie. You look at the lead sacker, Rashawn Gary, tied with Carl Brooks, who's a rookie. So you look at every statistical category, other than maybe kicks, because Anders Carlson missed an extra point in a field goal, and Lucas Van Ness hasn't come along the way maybe you'd like him to. As
Your
we
first
hear
round
him
pick. Other than
chime in.
that,
Let's
Mrs.
go.
Clinton, how's the
Lincoln and not Clinton. Mrs. Clinton is still well and alive.
Yeah.
So is Mr. Clinton, by the way. Shout out Monica Lewinsky. But the rookie stepped up big. So this is the first time I'm understanding the vision. So when if you do, to go back to what you were saying, pay Jordan Love at the end of this season, you still have another 3 years of Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs, and the two rookies, Jaden Reed and Dontavian
But
Wicks.
again,
So
to
you
the other
have
side
pieces.
of it, again, you are facing unquestionably the league's worst pass defense. Like you can look it up statistically. The Chargers are hands down statistically.
You're
I'll
right,
give you
but
numbers.
it is just weird to me that a defense with Derwin James and Asante Samuel Jr. are the worst. But you're right.
They are statistically the worst pass defense out there. But also, you could do the flip side. You have A.J. Dillon on this team, and your number one, who was there to run, your number one rusher, Jaden Reed. Not a lot of yards there for him. Not great. Was it Valentine that basically allowed, and I'm not doing the Chargers gave him the game thing that happened.
Thank you. I was going to yell at you if you did.
But Johnson had a touchdown, and that was Valentine to let him go. So, if he catches the ball, which he should catch 9 times out of 10, because I got annoyed last year when Packer fans were like, the whole season's different if Watson catches the first pass of the year.
Right.
The whole season, the whole game's not different for the Chargers. If the game might be different, but the whole season, if Johnson
Can I
catches
just comment on that real quick?
Yeah.
Because I've seen it a ton on Twitter, and I've heard people talk about it today. And I was actually expecting you to pull the Chargers lost the game, the Packers did win it angle. I will never, ever apologize for winning versus self-inflicted wounds. The Packers have lost football games in 2023 due to self-inflicted wounds.
And they will lose more, I promise you.
I think you're right about that, especially the next 2 weeks against good teams like Detroit and Kansas City.
I think the
they'll
wounds
just win
from,
them. Yeah,
I think the wounds from Detroit and Kansas City. But if they lose a game that they're not supposed to lose,
so like the Giants or the Bucks or the Panthers, sure, with all of them coming
Vikings would be
up.
the one I'd pick.
Vikings too, right? All in that stretch of 4 after Kansas City in a week and a half. I'm not apologizing for self-inflicted wounds. Did the Chargers make mistakes? Yes. Did those mistakes potentially cost them the football game? Yes. But did the Packers also play well enough to win that football game outright? Yes. Multiple things can be true.
Luck, to win the game. Luck is the residue of design and putting yourself into it. If they were,
ooh, Jimmy,
you like that one?
I really like that one.
Luck is the residue of design. Because I do believe that. I do believe that luck is the residue of design, and it's the idea that you were in the position to have it happen, and that's all you needed to happen. Did they get plenty of breaks at the end? Absolutely. Chargers stupid penalties. There's a million things. They are, but also, you only can play against who you're playing against. And I was getting on Chris Orr and Colin Russo and Molly Brown for their postgame where they're dumping all over the Badgers for like, oh, whatever. They won the game. They're bowl eligible. Who cares? If you reversed it, you'd be killing them for losing in Nebraska. In this case, and I put it on social, and I had the Packers losing 24-23, but I put it on plenty of my socials because we were off Thursday and Friday. I said they very well could win this game. And I actually thought that Jordan Love would have a really good game, in large part because this Chargers defense covering the pass is absolutely horrendous, but it still means something to go out and do it because bad quarterbacks can still go out and not have a great game against a bad Chargers defense. I mean, this Chargers defense, I believe, beat the crap out of Tyson Bagent. Like, Tyson Bagent's not a good quarterback. So it doesn't mean every quarterback out there is going to be able to go out and have a good game. So it does mean something to Jordan Love.
But you're right. It does mean something. And I think the other angle of this, too, is, and I don't know if Jordan Love views it this way. I don't know how competitors view it differently than maybe I do when I'm searching for an angle or a storyline doing our pregame show on Sunday mornings, Green Bay Game Day. But something we talked about heavily before the game yesterday on Green Bay Game Day was the fact that this is, and I know the quarterbacks don't play each other, but this is a quarterback who has proven he's a franchise guy. The team has locked him up in Justin Herbert, who was drafted the same class as Jordan Love. So this is a good opportunity to say, hey, What do you got, buddy? It's a direct parallel. And although you're not playing quarterback versus quarterback, it still is something to keep an eye on.
That's where I'll come back to the Johnson thing, though, because, like, Johnson makes the play.
Drops,
but, I mean, if Johnson just makes the play he's supposed to play, Herbert looks great, and we, love
Herbert still looked good.
He did. So, Rip and Rona chimes in. I'm with Strofe. Franchise QBs don't have to be Mahomes and Rodgers. And I'm just going to disagree on that. But the other part of it is Stafford, I would call a franchise QB. Kirk Cousins, franchise QBs. But those guys are better, in my opinion, than Jimmy G and Jared Goff, Ryan Tannehill, Derek Carr. Franchise
Jared
QBs.
Goff, I disagree with. I'd agree with everybody else.
But Matthew Stafford was the franchise for Detroit for a very long time. Kirk Cousins is the franchise for the Vikings.
But they're moving off of him.
But he was there for a long time. You're going to move off guys. I mean, we're talking about GOATs or elites and in franchise QBs. And I just, Tannehill, Carr, I would still put Goff in that because he's been up and down.
Again, we're arguing semantics on this,
my
right?
point
We view it differently.
Yes, because franchise QB to me means that's the guy you're never, ever going to look to replace him. The Vikings have tried to draft guys to replace Cousins. The Lions never did with Stafford.
Let me throw an asterisk on this quick for you, Jimmy, because I think we're pretty close in terms of what a franchise QB is. I think if you look at the guy and you think to yourself more so, the grass ain't always greener if we move off of him, he's a franchise quarterback.
But that's not Jimmy G. The 49ers have tried to replace him for a while, and they finally did.
Yeah, I wouldn't call him that anymore. I would say Jimmy G, when he was going to Super Bowls, was a franchise guy.
But again, that was such a small window. If you look at it statistically, there was like a 2-3 year window. So I got to have 5 years unquestionably you don't want to move off of them. That's how I would describe it.
All right, fair enough.
And then you have, we got our new definition of it. There's 5 years, unquestionably, that guy's the starter, and you don't want to move off.
I like that, actually.
And I do think Love falls more into the bridge QB category of, like, you'll be happy with him, but you're always going to, like, maybe take a flyer in third, fourth rounder if you really like a guy. And 844-770-3776, how you chime into the show. Give us your overreaction for yesterday's win over the Chargers. The Yard Possum, Lake Mills chimes in. Definitely an overreaction. The Chargers are making quarterbacks look like Pro Bowlers playing against that defense. Robin Madison chimes in with, I can't wait for the Bears to draft Caleb Williams. The soft boy is going to be a bust. Okay.
Random shot. I like it.
Yeah. And the Adam Madison chimes in. Let's be honest, though. This week, the Packers got lucky. Absolutely needed to address the wide open receivers for the Chargers. Not going to get lucky with drops every week. And I will maintain luck is the residue of design. Yes, they got lucky. They've gotten unlucky in other games. They got lucky against New Orleans when Carr went down. But it doesn't matter. The wins still matter. But I will always go back to this. The wins don't matter because even if they lost that game, in my opinion, the Packers won, and I've maintained this all year, so that I think they have less wins than they currently do because the Packers only win, in my book, when Jordan Love looks like he's a capable NFL starter, which I think has been like 3 times this year.
Chicago.
Yep.
Atlanta for most of the game. 3 quarters.
Except for at the...
Because then you bring up New Orleans and you look bad.
So we reverse it. I'll give you one of those.
Okay, so let's go through 3 games he looked capable to. Detroit, no. Vegas, no. Denver, no. Minnesota, no. Los Angeles, yes. Pittsburgh, yes. Los Angeles Chargers,
I'm going to push back on Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's defense.
Did you come on? Serious question, because I didn't catch the show last Monday. Did you come on saying that was his best game as a Packer?
No.
Really?
No, I do not think that was his best game as a Packer.
I thought it was.
I thought both interceptions were bad. Obviously, the first one was bad, but I would say
the interceptions are bad.
So that's why I would say that's not. You wouldn't want that performance game in and game out of a quarterback.
Outside of the 2 interceptions, I would have taken it.
Okay, Mrs. Clinton.
Mrs. Clinton. He made probably, and yesterday he made a couple too, but I would say against Pittsburgh, he probably made 3 of, if not his 3 best throws as the starting quarterback.
Right, and the throws thing I get, and the people are showing clips and everything.
Flashes are exciting.
But
you've been through this before.
But I
Flashes
agree.
are exciting.
Look, Chicago's social media is full. I mean, Justin Fields had a hell of a game yesterday.
Flashes are exciting.
But at the same time, I know flashes aren't it because look at Baker Mayfield playing. Carson Wentz is on a practice squad. Not only do we not figure out, like, I'm done trying to even guess QBs. People tell me, Peyton Manning was really bad his first year. Peyton Manning started as a rookie. C.J. Stroud has started as a rookie, and he looks amazing. Yeah. Brock Purdy started as a rookie, and he looks great. I mean, he didn't start the season, but Brock Purdy, that's a high-value guy there. And so figuring out the Tommy DeVito, who lives at home with his mom, had a better game than Jordan Love against a defense that is also bad in Washington. So
Tommy DeVito. I did not expect a Tommy DeVito reference in segment 1.
But it's just a matter of, and I'm not taking down what Love did. I just can't figure out. But I would say when I'm watching Love and you just go on where he was drafted, what he was as a prospect, which was by the time it came around, not as high. Yeah. I just think he's going to be, which is not a bad pick. And I still maintain stupid to run Aaron Rodgers out of town for Jimmy G, but that's been done. I do think, because I think it will be Jimmy G or Jared Goff, because that's what they want.
Yeah. I mean, you're probably right on that. I look, just to put a bow on this, and I know we got to get to break, but what you look for is progression. And we'll talk to Jason Wilde in the 5 o'clock hour. Growth is not linear. We know this. But now for 3 weeks straight, you have seen Jordan Love get better and better and better. And yesterday was, hands down, I think you would agree with me, Jim, his best game as a Packer. Mm-hmm. He looked the part yesterday, and that's what you need to see. Now, Thursday is a legitimate test. He's going to be without Aaron Jones more than likely. Again, he's going to be without a couple other guys. They're beat up right now. The injury report is a textbook, I believe Ryan Woldersheim called it before the show. So I'm excited to see what Thursday brings, and it is the first gauge that you have of this is the second time Jordan Love has played a team. It's the first time you have that with him as the starter, which is an exciting opportunity on Thursday.
I'm just kind of ballparking these numbers, but over the last 4 games, he's averaging around 61% completion percentage. That includes the Vikings game, around 250 yards passing per game, and 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, which is Jimmy G. Yeah. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue, and we can prove it. Follow the show on Twitter at Jim and Matt.
Hey, Matt Hamilton here. I might be away on vacation, but you better believe I definitely packed my Iron Jock. That's right. I need to bring my Iron Jock with me on this trip. I'm going down to Florida. I need that silver ion technology that's going to keep me feeling fresh and smelling fresh for as long as I own the garment. I'm going to be sweating in some hot 80-degree weather down in Florida. That Iron Jock's going to have my back, and it can have your back too. You go to ironjock.com. That's ironjoc.com. Find out what Iron Jock product will work best for you. Iron Jock, it's what's inside that matters.
Braylon Allen here for Iron Jock Performance Gear and Apparel. You know why Iron Jock says it's what's inside? It's the technology, the 4-way stretch, fit, and feel. The science that is built into the fabric. This isn't any ordinary clothing that you wear 5 times and the fabric breaks down. Iron Jock is tested and proven to kill 99.9% of the bacteria for the lifetime of the gear. It'll feel as new after 75 washes as it did the day you got it. Get yours at ironjock.com. That's ironjoc.com.
Matt Hamilton here to tell you about my friends at Revive Restoration. Nobody plans for accidents to happen, but when they do, you can count on Revive to be professional, efficient, and detail-oriented as they make things right again. Revive Restoration.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
What's up? It's Stacy Bruner from Bruner Realty. Today's housing market can be tough to navigate. Let me and my staff of hardworking agents go to bat for you when it's time to buy or sell a home.
Hey, it's Jesse Nelson. Stacy led my wife Becca and I through our entire home buying process. He was incredibly helpful, a fantastic communicator, and from start to finish helped inform and guide us as first-time home buyers.
If you're in the market to buy or sell a home,
and you want the best experience possible,
contact us at BrunerRealtyInc.com. Bruner Realty, homes to appreciate.
Prize Picks, the most fun I've had, winning up to 25x on my money during the football season, and now I get to play during the basketball season as well. You get to select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and you just place an entry. Pretty simple. And now you get to pick combo projections across football and basketball from the Specials League, a league created specifically for combo projections that includes 2 or more players from different sports or leagues. So for me, I'm going to go Jordan Love, and then I'll go Giannis and Dallas Dame. If I want to go 3-pointers made, rushing touchdowns, can do it. Prize Picks is that simple to play. Testing my skills on Prize Picks this season is the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. apps. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types are what makes PrizePicks the #1 daily fantasy sports app.
Go to prizepicks.com/WI and use code WI for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/WI, code WI.
Spend Black Friday at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison, and you've got a chance to make it a Cash Friday. On Friday, November 24th from 5 to 8 p.m., 21 winners will spin the prize wheel and take home between $500 and $5,000 cash each in our Cash Friday promotion. Plus, November 24th is Ho-Chunk Day, and we're celebrating by giving the first 500 guests that visit our Rewards Club booth $25 in rewards play. Make Cash Friday part of your holiday tradition at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Outside of the 2 interceptions, I would have taken.
Okay,
because he Mrs. Clinton. He made.
Jim in Oregon chimes in. The best thing, it's a Packers and Badgers weekend win for football. 844-770-3776 is how you get into the show. It's Overreaction Monday. Overreact with us. Oh, and then be sure to get to Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison, because that's where winners go. Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison has just jackpots this year are blowing up over there, so make sure to check out the good folks over at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison, and they have a special going on this weekend, but also they're open till 2 a.m. Monday through Thursdays, weekend hours 8 a.m. till 2 a.m., so get on over to Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison. Jackpots so far this year are well over $117 million. So go be a winner. Go to Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison. Get some Christmas cash over there at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison. He's Alex Strofe. I am Jim Rutledge. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. And we are taking your calls, 844-770-3776, on an Overreaction Monday. What is our overreaction question, fellas? Because I don't know what we're overreacting to the most on. Should we just ask it like this? Overreaction Monday. Will the Packers make the playoffs?
Yeah.
Are you buying into the Packers as a playoff team?
Yeah, I mean, I think
I would
it's
imagine
fun
every
that,
fan is like buying in. I want to say.
Did anybody catch it on the Vikings game last night? The In the Hunt graphic. Did anybody see it? Anybody
Yeah,
see,
the entire NFC in the hunt.
I'm
pretty sure.
Anybody see who was on top of the In the Hunt graphic in the NFC?
Anybody,
I'm just wondering if anybody caught that the 4-6 Green Bay Packers are the #1 team in the Hunt graphic. They are the 8th seed in the NFC as it stands right now, and they also hold the 9th pick in the NFL draft. Tiebreakers are the Green Bay Packers' friend right now. They have a top 10 pick technically and are only a game and a half back of a playoff spot in the NFC. I like the question. I'm still a week away.
So that's just I want to be binary, so we're going to post it like that. That's the question we'll post. Ryan's not paying attention,
if they beat Detroit on Thursday, which for the record I think is unlikely.
It's more likely than if they played them on a Sunday. Thursday throws it all into.
I would agree. If the Packers beat the Detroit Lions on Thursday, you will have to avoid me until they play the Chiefs that next Sunday. You will have to avoid me.
Well, you should rightfully be excited. Regardless of the weird circumstance of the Thursday, here's why you'd be excited. They played Detroit on a Sunday and then a Thursday earlier in the year, and it was ugly, and that was at Lambeau Field.
It was really ugly.
So if they can go and play and beat Detroit Sunday to Thursday again, then I think there's something to be excited about.
I'll say this before we get to Joe.
Yes.
I said it in the last segment, but if anybody's just joining us, I do want to repeat this because I think it's important. This is the first opportunity you have to see Jordan Love against an opponent for the second time on Thursday, right? You're trying to gauge who Jordan Love is game by game, piece by piece, bit by bit. This is the first real opportunity you have to see him go from you got your ass whooped on Thursday Night Football against Detroit a couple weeks ago. How do you respond 2 months later on Thanksgiving on a Thursday morning against the same team? I think this is an important part of evaluating Jordan Love's development. How does he bounce back against a defense that whooped him? I think that's what makes Thursday so fun for me. That's what excites me about Thursday.
And I will maintain the only thing that really matters on Thursday is how Jordan Love looks.
Yeah.
I don't win or lose, but we are going to ask the question, 844-770-3776. Will the Packers make the playoffs? That will be our I just want put your money where your mouth is. Yes or no? 844-770-3776. Let's get out to Joe from Madison. Joe, how's it going?
Good. Thanks for having me. I'm going to throw you guys a curveball because I was thinking about the Badgers before you posed the question. But my overreaction was about the Badgers getting bowl eligible and maybe beating Minnesota next week isn't actually a good thing. This team's really far away from being where it should. You take away the no-show of the Indiana game, no-show of Northwestern, squeaked out one against Illinois and Nebraska, and there's a lot that has to change next year.
Joe. Slow down. I want you to understand what you just said on radio in the great city of Madison. You just said out loud, extending the third longest streak for bowl eligibility in the NCAA and winning football games is actually a bad thing. That's what you just said out loud. Is that correct?
When I say bad thing, I'm just saying this team is a lot further away than I think everyone thought it would be to where it needs to get to be a Badger football team that we've come to expect for the last 25 years.
Underwhelming, yes, but a bad thing to win football games now. I can't get behind that.
Well, we're going to, Joe, and thanks for the call. We do have to get to Chris Orr in a minute. So let's just take a second here to talk Badgers.
Yeah.
Couple things are true. Joe is right. This team is worse than we thought, and that's because this team was in a worse position than we thought they were when this team arrived. And you know what? I don't put the quitting on this team, and Chris get upset about it. Last year's team was quitters. We saw them quit against Illinois. Paul Chris got fired. This is a team that has too many quitters on it. And you know what Luke Fickell did? He got those quitters to buckle up their bootstraps and go play hard against Nebraska. Even they were down 14-0. And I'm not trying to throw rose petals at their feet. They were down 14-0. They could have quit on their season. Mm-hmm. They had ugly losses in a row. They were staring down their first 4-game losing streak at Camp Randall in God knows how long, losing to Nebraska at Camp Randall for the first time since Barry Alvarez was playing for Nebraska at Camp Randall. It was staring down and really putting bowl eligibility in peril and losing on senior day, and they flipped all that around and won. And I'm sorry if they go out and beat Minnesota. What's still happening is Fickell and this staff is going to clean out some more guys. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, there's more guys having to get cleaned out than I thought there was going to be, but there's going to be players cleaned out, and I do think this program, I'm not going to say wins and loss. If this team wins with 8 wins next year or this year, I feel like they could get to 8 wins again next year, but it's going to feel better based off their schedule, and they're not going to have laydowns.
It ain't a high bar, but that's the best thing Jim Rutledge has said all day. It ain't a high bar, but that's the best thing Jim Rutledge has said all day.
Because I say the nice thing about the Wisconsin teams.
No, you are right, though. I mean, look, it's not an easy task to turn around a 6-6 football team in 1 year. Luke Fickell, still the right guy for the job, still a guy that knows how to win. He's won everywhere he's been, and I trust him wholeheartedly. I think this will be a better team next year. Are there issues, to Joe's point? Right, I know I kind of got all over Joe, but to Joe's point, is there still issues within this team and within this locker room? Emphatic yes. But winning helps everything. So winning a trophy game, although people forget what they played on Saturday and won in overtime was a trophy game, It's a big deal.
And it's really the end of the trophy game.
Right.
I don't know when they're playing Nebraska.
2 years.
So, I mean,
it takes a break.
The idea of this regular thing is kind of done now.
Yep.
And so.
But next week, what happens on Saturday is huge for this Badgers team. And I don't really get how Joe says beating Minnesota for the first time since 2020 is a bad thing.
Beating
I
Minnesota
can't get behind that.
Changes the trajectory of Minnesota because I think
they would miss a bowl game if they lose on Saturday. They have 5 wins.
And those that I've talked to that are friendly with P.J. Fleck think that he knows that he loses his job's at least he's on the axe is over his head if he loses.
Hey-o.
Pun intended. He knows that that's not impossible. He gets fired if they lose to the Badgers.
No bowl eligibility for Minnesota. There's still a lot on the line aside from the axe on Saturday.
So that could change, and you go to Minnesota, and you bring that axe back. That changes the mentality of some of the kids on this team that maybe were looking to transfer. It can change a lot, and it does send the program in the right direction going forward. I do think there's some change. Look, there could be changes the Badgers don't even want done. Phil Longo, his name is being floated as the head football coach for Syracuse. So there's still a lot of things up.
I didn't see that, really.
Yeah. It's an article of just like Tressel's name could pop up for Michigan State.
Yep.
As much as you want to malign this staff, it is a staff that is highly thought of outside of Wisconsin right now, and they do have a lot of work to do. We'll get to Chris Orr next segment here, but I did work out at Carbon World Health today. I screwed up the schedule because I thought it was upper body day, and I like upper body day so much better than leg day. Leg day is so much harder, but the trainers over there are fantastic. And the thing is, and I've said this before, when I was talking to our friend Bo from Dansko Distillery, we had a little lunch together at Vintage, and he was saying, like, how does this all work? How did it work for you? And I said, I take semaglutide, and I'm doing the exact same workouts that I used to do, but I probably put a little more vigor into them because I started seeing results. So go to Carbon World Health, ask Dr. Ness Rodriguez about semaglutide because it could be right for you as an FDA-approved, game-changing, and you've seen the celebrities talk about it. You get these pop-up ads for it. Don't click on some ad and try to buy it. Go see Dr. Ness Rodriguez. Make sure it's right for you. Make sure it's safe for you. And then combine it with a workout experience at Carbon World Health, and that's how you're going to see the weight loss and muscle gain goals you're looking for at Carbon World Health. Chris Orr is coming up next. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Miss any of the show? Find full show podcasts free on Wisconsin On Demand and wherever you get your podcasts.
Nobody plans for accidents to happen, but when they do, you can count on Revive Restoration to be professional, efficient, and detail-oriented as they make things right again. From things like water damage, smoke, fire, mold, storm damage, and a whole lot more, Revive Restoration has your home covered 24/7, 365 days a year. There's no project too big or too small, so the next time you need help restoring your home or business, Revive Restoration has your back. Go to revivepros.com to get started on your project today.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau.
The standards have been set from quarterbacks that have been here before us, and you're trying to continue to raise your game until you get to that bar.
This is your Green and Gold Fix on 100.5 ESPN.
You're going to evolve throughout the course of the season. It's always the fine line of what's too much.
This Green and Gold Fix is driven by Metro Ford.
For the first time in 31 games, the Packers have a quarterback throw for over 300 yards as Jordan Love leads the Packers to a 23-20 victory over the Chargers at Lambeau. And for him, it was just good to get a game that it felt like was out of reach.
The message in the second half, it's a 0-0 ball game. It's go finish, Offense, we scored, I think, 2 tugs in the second half maybe. Yeah, and then defense balled out. They stepped up big right there and finished off the game. Obviously, we wanted to finish it out on offense, but they did a good job, and then, relied on our defense right there to go finish.
4-6 Packers now have a short week. They take on the Lions in Detroit on Thanksgiving Day.
Purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Ford at Metro Ford of Madison on the east side today.
We all share the same roads, but when an accident happens, we don't always share the same consequences. Big trucks can cause big damage. Injuries can be severe and may require a lifetime of care and compensation. Call Gruber Law Offices today. We can help you from the safety and comfort of your own home. Our virtual sign-up process is quick and easy. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Fleet Farm's got everything you need for everyday life. And by everything, we mean top products by your favorite brands. From Blackstone to Blue Buffalo, Carhartt to Cooper, Milwaukee to Muddy, Scott's to Science Diet, DeWalt, Levi's, Purina, Husqvarna, Goodyear, Rapala, Vortex, and a whole lot more. In-store or online, check out all the brands Fleet Farm carries to help make your everyday life better.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Carbon World Health.
Am I wrong to think that McIntosh hires Fickle with the thought process of we can be more than just Big Ten champs?
He knows what it takes to win.
To have to go to overtime to come out on top tonight, they showed me that there was something deeper down inside. They had to dig a lot deeper tonight. We all had to dig a lot deeper tonight. I'm extremely, extremely proud.
It's time to talk Wisconsin football on Rutledge and Hamilton. Presented by Simden Chevrolet of Mount Horeb and North and South Seafood and Smokehouse.
The jump around was lit, Chris Orr. Were you still with me as we were in the Carver World Health suite, or did you head out by that point? I forget. Did you go do post game?
No, I was gone by then.
The energy was real during that, and you know the Badgers. And I heard you in the post game. You guys had a little group think, a little too negative, in my opinion. Like I'm not throwing roses at their feet. But if they had lost that game, and I said this earlier on the show, Chris, so I just gotta say it to you as we're talking on the phone. If they had lost that game, we all rightfully would have been killing them.
Yeah, Chris, you're an idiot.
But no, I didn't say that. But they were down 4. Here's why I would say that there's something to build off with that win. They were down 14 points. This team had quit the prior 2 games. They could have easily quit again. It was senior day. Purdy's just pulling off plays out of his behind.
Purdy? You mean Mordecai?
No, I'm talking about...
Oh, that's right. Is that Brock Purdy's brother?
Yes, it is.
Yes, so thank you. Purdy was pulling plays out of...
You're an idiot, Charles.
was pulling plays out of his behind, and look, it wasn't pretty, it wasn't beautiful, but like they gritted out a win, and I believe it was a tough, smart, dependable, and it wasn't the most tough, smart, dependable game played by the Badger football team, but it just reminded me of a game like, okay, these guys gave a crap. They didn't want to be the team that didn't become bowl eligible. They didn't want to be the team that lost Nebraska and blew the first 4-time losing streak at Camp Randall. First team to lose to Nebraska at Camp Randall since Barry Alvarez was playing for Nebraska. So it's not like we should throw them a parade, but it's more the reverse of like if they had lost that, we all rightfully would have been killing them, and they pulled a win out of what looked like early on, Chris, we were there, it looked like it was going to be a loss. And that's what I take pride in. That's why I was like, that's good.
Yeah, for sure. It was a good win. I just don't think it was the gutsiest win. That was my argument.
Okay.
Colin said it was the gutsiest win. I think the Illinois win is gutsier with the redshirt freshman on the road in the Big Ten. That's a little gutsier to me.
Yes, I agree with that.
But but no, it was a good win. It was good to see this team finish. Like we hadn't finished all year. That was the thing that was lacking from a lot of these games. A lot of times we would rally and then fizzle out, but it was good to see us finally finish for as long as it took. It was good to get a senior day win. I think that's important. I think that's an important program builder because guys bond over that. Now it's on to Axe Week. I think after that game, you tell your seniors you love them, and you tell them I'm going to go get your axe back for you. Because they were here when they had that.
I like that, and Chris, Alex, you can ask the next one here. But like when I looked at that, and I was talking to some people who were around the program, and I think some of it came from inside the program, but also the players themselves looked at it and said, like, do we want to be the team that breaks the bowl streak? So like 30 years from now, they're like, the Badgers went to bowl games 30 out of 38 years, and this is the team that screwed it up. And then on the positive, as you touched on with the Axe game, like now they can be the team not only that didn't break the bowl streak, also went back got the Axe for the first time in a while, and maybe gets PJ Fleck fired.
I would also like to add in just real quick the Minnesota series is tied 68-8 is the record all time.
69, nice. Giannis's favorite number.
Yeah, so whoever wins the Axe this year will have the 69th win, which is very nice, if you will.
I'm testing Wollersheim's producer ability. I sent Giannis.
Do you want me to just have 69 available and ready?
I sent you a Giannis clip on like Sunday or Saturday.
Chris,
so use it.
That was coming up in Throwing Stones.
All right. But I wanted to end the show. All right.
Prime. Chris Orr with us here on Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light, co-host of ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, all-time Badgers legend, all-time big idiot. So how important, Chris, is this Axe game, right? I mean, obviously there is the built-in, this is a huge rivalry game, yes. But there's also built-in, we haven't won the Axe, as you just mentioned, since 2020. There's also the part of it, as Jim just alluded to, Minnesota has 5 wins. They lose this game, they're not making a bowl, which would be a big notch in the belt as well of Bucky. How big does this one feel in comparison to others?
That's a good question.
Thanks.
I will put it up there with some of the best of them, to be honest, just because of the overall impact that it could have on the program. We haven't had it for 2 years. You could effectively end Minnesota's best coach probably in a while. You can end his tenure there. You can keep Minnesota out of a bowl game, which just makes it a little sweeter. But the gravity of getting the axe back after 2 years and it puts you on top for the series, I think that's important. I think that's a big thumbs up, big star on your resume to do in year one. I think that has way more impact than going to whatever bowl game and winning the game. I think that getting the axe back has more importance because it's the only real rivalry. I'll tell it's the oldest rivalry in all of football. In all of football, we've had it forever. The series goes in ebbs and flows. I was a part of the team that lost the streak, so yeah, like you were saying earlier, Jim, you don't want that. You never want that a stain like that on your.
Sorry for bringing that up.
Tough topic. Tough topic.
Yeah.
Don't hurt me tomorrow when you're in.
Don't bring up the axe. Don't bring up Lambeau Field in the presence of Chris Orr. Touchy subjects.
Yeah. Please. So yeah, I just think that overall impact of getting the axe back, man, it makes you. It gives you a better taste in your mouth. It makes you feel better about the end of the season. Well.
Talking with former Badger Chris Orr. This is brought to you in part by Simon Chevy in Mount Horeb and North South Seafood and Smokehouse. And, Chris, we've talked about it, I think, sometime now it's kind of slipped through the cracks, but to fans, and I wanted to call into the postgame, and I know you know this, but Colin Russo, who seems to just really want to just get after this Fickle hire and was just crapping all over, just even going to a bowl game didn't matter. The one part, and you're right, the axe game matters more, but talk about the practice and any even team bonding with the trip. Like, there are intangible things, or it's tangible with the practice. Like, that to me was the most important part, was obviously keeping the legacy going, but the practices and also just that bond, especially if you win, that can go forward from a game. Even if you're beating FAU in the Boca Bowl, it doesn't matter. You still got the extra practice and got some time together.
Yeah, for sure. I think the extra practices are vital for especially like the younger players on the roster. Usually around the bowl game is when those younger guys get a bigger role and more of an opportunity to even play in the game and capitalize on it if they could stack some good practices together. And then for the bonding going forward, like, this is a time for the young leadership to start emerging. This is where it starts emerging more and more. I'm sure it was building throughout the year, but this is where it starts emerging more and more. Those guys that are going to be returning next year, the opportunity to bond, like, you're talking about how you never want a season like this again while you're here. Like, you're talking about that with your class. You're talking about that with your teammates that are returning. So, yeah, it can be a big momentum driver. A bowl game is important because it's like an extra spring practice for coaches at least. You basically get to sneak an extra 15 practice, and reps are vital to anybody's career.
Chris, when you watched that game, and obviously I know you were driving for a little bit of it there towards the end as you were getting ready for the post-game show, but is there a guy that maybe we're not talking about that you look at and say, he's really come along this year, and maybe it's an underclassman who you're really excited to watch his progression? I think there's a few answers, but is there one that pops out to you, Chris?
Ooh, to me, somebody that speaks out that I think his year has kind of flown under the radar is Preston Zachman. It was kind of like a cherry on top this past weekend, but with the installment of the 3-3-5 and Kamoy going down and him earning his spot into the rotation and taking on larger and larger roles every week and making plays in those spots, in a DB dominated personnel set, that's vital. That's hard to do. It's completely new for him. Like, I know that personally, but I just think he's having a really good season and is going under the radar. But I think he got the spotlight this weekend.
Yeah, 5 tackles for Preston Zachman, the sophomore safety, who Chris Orr referring to there as he joins us here on Rutledge and Hamilton. We're talking Badgers with the Badgers legend, Chris Orr. I'm Alex Strofe in for Matt Hamilton alongside Jimmy Rutledge. Did we lose Chris there? It sounded like he cut off at kind of an awkward spot.
All right, well, that's perfect because we need to move on to throwing some stones.
Chris is still here.
Oh, okay.
Chris?
You went. All right.
Yeah, what's going on?
I give you a thumbs up.
We lost you, and then Prime gave me a thumbs up. As I said, I think we lost Chris Orr.
Yes, you gave the thumbs up.
You gave
I think
it
we
to
lost
you
Chris.
at a rough time. Yeah.
If he was gone, wouldn't I have given you a thumbs down?
Chris.
No, you said Chris. Let's bring Chris over to this. So, Chris, if you're on the sidelines and the coach and you're asking the coach, should I do this? They give you the thumbs up. You'd be like, okay, I should do this.
No, you did not ask if I should do this. You asked, is Chris Orr still there? And I gave you a thumbs up.
No, enough bickering. Let's send Chris
and also
Orr.
Chris Orr. He didn't say. You said we think we lost Chris Orr, and then Primetime's like,
cheesing and give us the thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Chris, let's send you off. Let's send you off with this.
I just wanted to get Chris
your signature phrase. How much should we expect the Badgers to win by on Saturday against Minnesota?
Buggy by $1 billion, hopefully. I think it can be done too. They can't do anything but run the ball. We just need to stop the run and hit this quarterback a couple times, and we should hold them to a minimal game at least. And I think I think we could win this game in the same fashion that we won this past weekend. Just grit it out. You give your big back the ball as much as possible. You'll need it in vital situations. Don't turn the ball over in key moments. Maybe eliminate a couple of the penalties, but I think Mordecai made great decisions. Use your legs when you're in trouble. Just protect himself, and we should win.
Long answer to when I just wanted him to say Bucky by $1 billion.
He's not your clown.
he is a clown.
Yeah, I'm not
just
your
not
clown,
mine.
brother.
You are a clown, just not mine.
All right, Chris. I'll talk to you tomorrow. You're in for Matt tomorrow, I believe. Or maybe Matt's back. It's all three of us tomorrow?
It's definitely Chris. I don't know about Matt.
Well, Matt's texting me saying he's in. So I think it will be at Rutledge and/or Hamilton tomorrow.
Very nice. Thanks, Chris. You're the best, brother.
All right, that's Chris
No
Orr.
problem.
We're going to throw some stones next. Rutledge and Hamilton. We're going to buy Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue, and we can prove it. Follow the show on Twitter at Jim and Matt. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
This Badger Minute brought to you by Starry on Bank, with 3 Madison area locations in Middleton, Sun Prairie, and Monona. Starry on Bank is here investing in your community. Start your experience by going to starryonbank.com. Member FDIC. It may have taken overtime, but for the 22nd year in a row, the Wisconsin Badgers are bowl eligible following a win Saturday night at Camp Randall over Nebraska. Here's head coach Luke Fickell after the game.
It's just the position we were in, the way we battled back, to have to go to overtime, and a lot of decisions and situations, even in the overtime, that we had to kind of put on our shoulders. And for all those things to kind of come out and to come out on top tonight, is really, really special.
The Badgers' regular season finale is this Saturday at Minnesota.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin can dramatically help lower your energy costs year-round. No interest and no down payment for up to 36 months when you order by November 30th. Visit PellaWI.com.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog, because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Sip on a sweet Cider Boys hard seltzer this crisp November. Cider Boys is sure to refresh your fall with their new Island Variety Pack, consisting of zesty mango tango, cool tiki colada, savory blueberry wild, and tasty tropical wave. This mix will be your escape from cold Wisconsin weather. A fruit cider with 5% alcohol by volume and with 40% less calories and sugar. Grab a limited release combination of all flavors from the past seasons with Cider Boys Island Variety Pack. Enjoy it responsibly.
Listen to Rutledge and Hamilton Tuesday, November 14th and the 21st. At 4:45, you have a chance to win a case of Cider Boys Island Mix. Jim Rutledge here. Cider Boys offers a refreshing twist this fall with a taste of tropical escape. Take a trip to the islands with Cider Boys Island Mix Pack. And tune in to Rutledge and Hamilton at 4:45 Tuesday, November 14th and the 21st for your chance to win a case of this delicious hard cider. Enjoy responsibly.
Zimbrick Chevrolet.
When was the last time you had your oil changed or your tires rotated? Do you need new tires, a battery, perhaps some windshield wipers? Zimbrick Chevrolet Service Center is equipped to help you with routine maintenance, major repairs, and everything in between. Get your free battery inspection coupon and schedule an appointment today at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Don't overpay. Shop Zimbrick Chevrolet on Main Street in Sun Prairie.
Main Street, Sun Prairie, Zimbrick Chevrolet.
Former NFL player and Rose Bowl champion Tarek Saleh here for Carbon World Health. Carbon is much more than just another gym. They offer the best recovery in the area. Some of my favorites include red light therapy and cryotherapy. Improve your athletic performance, fitness and training results, speed up muscle recovery and reduce pain, and boost your mood with these simple and non-invasive treatments. Visit Carbon World Health today and ask for the ESPN Recovery Package. That's Carbon World Health.
Legacy Exteriors. Just pick up the phone and let us leave a legacy on your home. Roofing, windows, gutters, siding, and decks. Can Legacy do it? You bet. Better prices, better warranties. Legacy always makes it easy. Go to legacy-exteriors.com. Legacy Exteriors. Just pick up the phone and let us leave a legacy on your home.
Hey everyone, Molly Brown here from ESPN Madison. For the best Southwestern food and margaritas in the Madison area, it's always Pasquale's Cantina for me. Whether I'm enjoying my favorite taco salad, their awesome chips and guac, or one of their famous burritos, Pasquale's is the best for authentic Southwestern fare. Plus, they have one of the largest tequila selections around. Visit one of their locations in Verona or Middleton today, or check out their menu and order online at Pasquale'sCantina.com.
Bringing the flavors of the Southwest to the Midwest. Pasquale's Cantina.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
Rutledge and Hamilton continues live from the Everlight Solar Studio. No Hamilton, he's still down in Key West catching fish, drinking Dancing Goat, drinking some Coors Light, enjoying himself down there. He, in theory, prime time, I feel like you were on this text chain. What's Matt doing tomorrow? Is he here tomorrow? Is he not here?
I got to be honest, I'm not sure if Matt Hamilton knows if he's going to be here or not. I
I
take everything he says with a big grain of salt.
Here's what's killing me, though. I am on 3 different text. I have a individual text chain that he sometimes texts me within, like I was at lunch, or like a late lunch with Bo from Dancing Goat, and my phone is blowing up, and I got 3 different strands of text messages coming from Matt, of like the person that like just Matt and I texting. Then it was the text chain that we have with Maddie and Primetime and Matt, and then there was another one that I think was just you and I, me and Matt. So I don't know what is going on, Alex. There's too many text chains going on, Rutledge and Hamilton. But Alex Strofe is in here. Let's throw some stones.
The guys think they have the answers to everything.
I'm the best there is. People like me.
So it's time to put them to the test.
That's some booty, Jim.
You know, that's just like your opinion, man.
This is Throwing Stones, presented by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Yeah, guys, it is time to throw some stones here on Rutledge and Hamilton. Me and Jim are already throwing stones at each other during Chris Orr's appearance, but as we all know, words do confuse me, and so I come here looking for answers from Jim and Alex. And now the first thing I want to do is show that I can be a good producer from time to time.
Oh, boy.
In which case, I did get the audio that Jim requested for Giannis.
First, man, come on, man. We got 69 more games. 69. I like that number. I like that number.
So Giannis started talking about how many more games the Bucks have after they won on Friday night against the Hornets, and since then they also won on Saturday against the Mavericks. So 68 games left to go technically for the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious about you guys. Honestly, there's 68 games. How interested are you in this Bucks season at this point?
That's the question?
Well,
can I throw a question back at you?
All right, go ahead.
Is Giannis
Turn
the
it around
horniest athlete alive?
Well, I was just saying, what is a better word to describe Giannis? Because Maddie, our social media coordinator, and I think she was on the. I sent it to her and everyone else, and
one of the 5 text chains.
One of the 5 text chains, and she said he's corny. So is Giannis more corny or horny?
I would say he is the athlete that is most open about his sex life, or at least sex jokes. Like, Giannis does not hold back. And I think that's what makes him likable, is that he's just so open about everything. But, like, he has... But sometimes he has the humor of, like, a middle schooler,
I was just gonna
which
say,
I kind of love.
Because the sex talk and jokes from Giannis are not things that, like, adults do in life. So, like, people are like...
Am I considered an adult?
But not in a workspace sort of setup here. So
I think Giannis and I would get along great.
So. But it's the idea that... you get insights into people, but just normal office settings, he's getting HRs giving him a buzz.
Oh, for sure.
So, that's why it's like that's what's so out of pocket, because it's like you like athletes to be open with themselves, but like normal people you interact with are not this open.
I'm just trying to think of like what athletes have had a slip up on Twitter with like
which ones
malfeasance.
I mean, come on.
But I mean,
malfeasance. If they're single, they can do what they want to do.
Well, right. I mean more so with sexual innuendos.
Oh, Ray Allen has
that's
a pretty
the one I'm
famous
thinking
one.
Of. That's the one I'm thinking
where
of.
like they thought they're sending a DM.
Yeah,
exactly. It's a tweet. Yeah, that's
Doc
more
Rivers, coach, but not an athlete.
No. Well,
I thought his was more of his like he didn't realize people could see what he follows.
Likes and follows.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yep, that's a tough scene.
That's an old man one.
Yeah, for sure. So I always like those, but Giannis just comes out right and says it. Oh, 69. I like that number. Ha ha ha. Right?
Like honestly, because when I first saw the video, I didn't know like it was popping up, and like I thought it was going to be more of like, look, we got like. I guess I'm too old for that. I was like, he's like saying like we got 69 more games to go. Like this one doesn't matter. And I was like, I was not expecting it to be a setup for a joke that realistically, it's more like 7 or like 10-year-olds who don't know what it means to like 17-year-olds.
Do you think if Giannis and I were to hypothetically kick it,
that make that joke?
Do you think Giannis would like me?
Yeah,
you do.
Sure. Yeah.
I think him and I would get along really well. Like I think we could be best friends.
Humble brag.
But I also Now he's going a little far. I'm not saying it's a knock against you as well. I do think Giannis would get along with a lot of people. So I'm not saying
I agree.
Yeah, so
I agree
like,
with that.
but I
He's
think
a really
absolutely
nice guy.
I would get along with him.
I think him and I could be like BFF material though. We have very similar senses of humor, very immature.
You're really giving off the Matt Hamilton vibes today, aren't you?
Yeah.
I would say that him and Matt have a better chance though, just from the idea that actually not Matt either. Like there's the other part of it, like Giannis, a little more professional than you, and he's also has multiple kids, a family. So like I feel like that could jam you up being like best
a
friends.
little bit different than my lifestyle currently. But I will say I'm a little bit. I will say that I'm a good friend. I laugh at your jokes. I'm a decent cook. I'll always bring beer. Like I feel like I'm a good friend.
Absolutely, I'm not disputing that.
I think me and Giannis would get along just great.
Absolutely.
Also, just real quick, total side note because I'm going to give big time Matt Hamilton energy. ADD note here as the Badgers about to tip off against number 24 Virginia. The name of this segment, Throwing Stones. I think this game, its over underline is 125
I know where
and a
you're
half.
going. And I actually got a great
final score might be 55-40.
Likely.
Throwing bricks over there.
Yeah.
Now, on that note, so literally, I don't know if that's where you're going. The Milwaukee Bucks, and I know we'll go to break after this. The Milwaukee Bucks put out a tweet, and it is, where are the Bucks playing today? Somewhere where
they're playing in Washington, D.C.
So there's bricks, like
Shout
in
out
the
to Johnny
photo,
Davis.
there's bricks of like the hotel they're staying at, bricks going up there, and bricks they're walking on. And the tweet says, building brick by brick. Come on, Milwaukee Bucks Twitter. You are a basketball account.
I love it.
You were just waiting to get owned with brick by brick.
I mean, maybe they're just referencing Jordan Poole and the Wizards right now. I don't know. I mean,
did you see the Wizards are already like, this? You didn't need to watch him play to be like, I don't think we can build around this guy. We're going to try to trade him.
Yeah,
you
I
needed
did
to
see
see
that.
some games for that.
I like Jordan Poole. It's tough to see him go through
I
the
like him the
struggles.
same way
but he ain't a number one, right?
Just Jamal Crawford.
He's not a number 4. Let's be honest.
If he's your sixth man, you are in great shape.
Yes.
Jordan Poole in Milwaukee. Good fit.
As a 6th man, sure.
Yeah, coming off the bench.
Yes, off the bench.
Well, he would
not
be,
thinking he's
you
the
add him
star.
To this team. You
in
take
DC.
nobody away. You add him to this team. He's your 4th option offensively. 5th behind Brooke.
Malik Beasley and him give a lot of the same
That's
value.
Fair. Jordan Poole's probably a bigger threat offensively, though. Anyway,
but he's
just going to shoot. He's a liability too.
Let's just recap for a moment. We've gone from Giannis saying he likes the number 69 to wondering where Jordan Poole would fit in on this Milwaukee Bucks team. That was what we did on Throwing
I'm very
Stones
good
today.
at controlling throwing stones, as you can see.
Absolutely. You know, this show is ending a little early because we have Bucks pregame. That is at 5:30. Maybe we shoot over to Ritz Chris Steakhouse in Middleton, get ourselves a Coors Light, or maybe a delicious old-fashioned. Whatever it is, we can go to Ritz Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. They got Sizzle, Swizzle, and Swirl Happy Hour, steak sandwich, calamari. They have some sashimi there as well. So many great options as part of that Sizzle, Swizzle, and Swirl Happy Hour. Go to Ritz Chris Steakhouse tonight. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
Ben Bruss to tell you about one of my favorite teams in the area, Zimbrick European. For over 3 years, I've trusted them with my car buying process, and I'm never going anywhere else. From Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, their pre-owned and Sprinter vans, they have something for everyone. Don't drive something ordinary when you can drive something extraordinary. I love the sexiest car on the lot that I found this time, a nice Zimbrick Mercedes. Find what you love. Test drive, and they will make leasing affordable. Zimbrick European.
Hey, this is Eric Name of The Athletic. You're listening to Madison's home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN, WTLX Monona, Madison, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good afternoon, Madison. I'm Ryan Wollersheim, and this is your Sports Center Update. Once again, brought to you by Mr. Irrelevant. Join Alex Strofe and a featured special guest every Monday.
How did I get an ad read?
Thank Jesse Nelson.
Is this coming out of my paycheck?
I don't know. I think you were supposed to pay me for this.
Oh, well, never mind. Keep going.
Thank you. Appreciate it. But you can hear him with a special guest every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. He had Sojourn Shelton, former Badgers defensive back, on the show today. But that's exclusively streaming on ESPN Madison's social media platforms. Meanwhile, the Packers getting a win over the weekend, beating the Chargers 23-20, and the Badgers getting bowl eligible for the 22nd season in a row with a 24-17 comeback win in Camp Randall against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Packers looking to keep that winning streak alive when they take on the Lions on Thanksgiving. Meanwhile, the Badgers looking to get the axe back against the Minnesota Golden Gophers this Saturday during the regular season finale. Bucks also got back-to-back wins. They're back in action tonight at 6 p.m. against the Washington Wizards and Jordan Poole. Pre-game coverage starts at 5:30 immediately following Rutledge and Hamilton. Wisconsin Badger basketball just tipped off in the Fort Myers tip-off against Virginia. They're currently up 4-2.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
You got the chill.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
This is Rutledge and Hamilton with Jim Rutledge and Matt Hamilton.
People like me.
That's some booty, Jim.
Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
Everybody's so mean to me.
I am Jim Rutledge.
You never go full Rutledge.
Ayahuasca.
If I had to rate the show,
Well, who's number
Rutledge and
one?
Hamilton. Rutledge and Hamilton show.
Oh, get it.
I just call it Rutledge.
I believe it's Rutledge and or Hamilton is what they're trying to
Oh,
go
that was
with.
clever.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio. With Matt Hamilton, here's Jim Rutledge.
It's Rutledge and Hamilton after dark now. Alex Strofe, Jim Rutledge with you live from the Everlight Solar Studio. If the mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's crush a Coors Light like I did plenty of on Saturday for the final home Wisconsin.
You and I crushed some Coors Light together because you were not hosting the pregame show.
I was not.
So you got to go to the game with Brad Nortman. You went to the W Club.
Yeah, humble brag.
Yeah, fancy.
I felt way too damn important on Saturday, Jimmy. Like, we talk a lot within the office about how my ego needs to be brought down a little bit. Saturday was not a good cause for that. It was not a good. It was not a good cause for my ego being knocked down a few pegs. But when JJ and Poinette text that he's ready to see me on The Bachelor, that doesn't help either. So, which I am open to the idea, by the way.
So who's got a bigger ego? 844-770-3776.
Do not compare me to Matt Hamilton.
You
right
were
now.
Matt Hamilton. Because it's not me.
It's Matt Hamilton.
I am known as humble. And,
oh, yeah. That's what everybody calls you. You're so right.
Wait, people call me things?
People like me.
That's so good.
I mean, I was in the suite. I don't know what you were doing.
Yeah, it's super humble. You're the best, dude. Oh, man, that's so good. 5-4 Wisconsin in front of Virginia, 16.5 to play in the first of the Fort Myers tip-off. So, Jim, serious question. The line is 125.5, which is about 62.5 points per team. Will they get there?
No.
I don't know, man. I think Virginia, Wisconsin's defense, not to make this a college hoop show because I know that's your favorite, but Wisconsin's
I mean, the fact that that's a legitimate question. Dude. Can they get over 125 points?
Big Steve. Stephen Crowell with the layup, 7-4 now. Anyway.
I mean, what's the Gene Hackman, because I don't know the fictional coach's name. Gene Hackman and Hoosiers would be very proud of this Badger team. And Virginia.
Yeah.
They
love them some defense. They love some
brick
defense.
By brick is very, Adam, I think a very appropriate way to describe this.
Is today the best sports day?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, Wall just got stuffed.
All right, for a second, I got to just take a second. Jim, why don't you like college basketball? Crawl top of the key. And now the play has happened, so they can do this. Stephen Crawl top of the key, whips a pass, bounce pass, great pass to Tyler Wall. Tyler Wall gets the ball, and for some reason is incapable of just going up and dunking it. Has to do this, like,
and
I'm going to use
covered.
But he was wide open initially. And then did this whole, like, I'll use the rim as a way to help screen the defender to try to put up a layup because I'm not athletic enough to get up quickly and dunk it. He was wide open, and it gets blocked, and then they lose it. He was wide open. There was nobody past the free throw line, and Wall was one step away from a dunk, and then he couldn't score at the basket.
So I'll spin zone
Exhibit A, why I don't like basketball.
I'll spin zone
college basketball.
You'll never see that in the NBA. You see things in college basketball you don't see in the NBA. It's what makes it better. It's what makes it the superior
Well, guys, you know
sport.
what the good news is?
What's
that down in South Florida right now, we have our man on the scene. We have our correspondent from the Florida Keys, Matt Hamilton.
You can't
now
help
joining the
Hamilton
show.
if he's not in the arena.
He's within like 3
far
hours.
from Fort Myers. He's like in Southern Illinois is the equivalent.
Yeah, right.
Or he's basically in Canada.
Our Madison correspondent in Champaign, Illinois. Here's Matt Hamilton.
Matt, defend yourself.
Hey, guys, come on. I'm a lot closer than you are to this situation.
All right, fair. I'll give you that.
So, give us the breakdown, Matt.
Oh, it's looking real good, but, you know, it's college basketball. We got some
Just
rough
like
passes
Kobe.
here. Obviously, that lay-in by Wall, abysmal. The guy's got to get up for that. So, I mean, you know, I think it's a good game going so far.
Like
I
you
think the Badgers
did
gotta
in
tighten up a little bit.
Colorado. You can't play this song. It's such a great tune. Story about the song. My dad's second marriage.
No, we do not have time for this right now.
We don't.
My
Any
dad's,
story
we don't
that
have
starts with my dad's, and then there's a number besides one in front of it is always good marriage.
My dad's second marriage occurred in Key Largo, Florida, and that marriage did not last very long. But I heard this song a lot as a child.
You know what, though?
That's currently where I'm at, actually, is Key Largo.
I mean, I assume that's why Ryan played the song.
Baby, why don't you play Kokomo?
Oh,
see, that's what I was told
The
him to
wedding
play.
that happened in Key Largo, they honeymooned in Antigua. So I also heard a lot of that song, too.
Yeah, fair enough.
That is such a second marriage location.
Isn't
like,
it?
like,
Hey, we got to make this work, so let's go on a destination wedding.
Also, we don't probably have nobody's paying for this wedding, and only half the people that came to the first one at best are coming to this one.
Oh, no, 0 people went. I wasn't even invited.
So it's like, let's just, we'll call it a honeymoon and a marriage together.
Hey, I got invited to the third one, though, and that one's still going on, so everybody's fine.
The wedding or the marriage?
The marriage. The marriage. Marriage is what are we at here? 11 years in, so we're good there.
All right.
Anyways, good to be back,
Happy
fellas.
for your third time's a charm is what they say with marriage. Absolutely. Matt, you got a few more to go. So
do you, pal.
Matt, how are the Keys?
You know what? We had one day of, like, torrential rain. Like, I think they're actually
I feel
thinking
so
about...
bad for you.
Hold on. I think they're actually retroactively going to go back and call it a hurricane. Because it was that, like, crazy of winds and everything like that. So, fortunately, where I was at, it was just rain, but the rest of the week I've had down here has just been sunshine and daffodils and blue mountains, baby. It's been amazing.
That's fantastic. And you went.
I've straight up drank my weight. I have drank my weight in Coors Light so far.
Dude, are we going to acknowledge you started this segment by saying, hey, whose ego is larger, Strofe's or Matt Hamilton's? Here, Inwaltz is in Matt Hamilton to say, hey, guys, I'm having an awesome time in 80-degree weather. My life is so horrible and awesome.
He's just reporting.
No, here's the thing, Strofe. My ego is definitely bigger, but I've earned that. I've earned it.
Wow. That's true. His ego is more in line with his accomplishments.
I'm not responding to that.
Thank you, Jimmy. Hey, you know what? WBA award winner, you should have a little bit of an ego. So I'm not saying you should back off. I'm just saying, you check yourself. Your boy, if I've got a big ego, you got to be one step down.
Your boy? Your boy?
What
the hell was that?
You guys did
The
California.
mountains have been blue all
You guys
day.
did California
How drunk are
Jim.
you?
This is Florida Matt.
Your
Your
boy?
Florida Matt is your boy.
Hey, you're
Sophie, you
acting
thought-
real sus right now, bro.
You thought Florida Jim was going to be a trip. Florida Matt is an absolute handful. I was out on a tiki bar, floating through the Keys all
What's the
day.
point of this?
You know, I thought he was coming in to give his overreaction to the Packers.
Yeah, and now we got to
But
get to
nobody
Jason
asked
Lovett.
me.
Yes.
Nobody asked me.
It's
We just started
your
talking
show.
Keys.
It's
I know.
your show.
Exactly,
You do whatever you want.
I am. I'm talking about my trip. It's been amazing.
All right, I got nothing to say to you.
That said, if we want to talk Packers, I picked Jordan Love for the goat of the week. Not too far off. Efficient, first 300-yard game, 3 TDs, and a go-ahead touchdown drive. Pretty freaking good. I don't think it's an A-plus performance, but certainly an A.
It's his best one. I mean,
Best game he's played so far.
If you look at it through the scope of if any of them are an A-plus performance, that would be the one. I don't know how you.
100%.
Why'd you lead
Agreed.
that off with? I picked Jordan Love as my green and gold goat of the week. Not that far off. He had the best game of anybody.
Well, I mean, there was a lot of people on that team that all contributed. Jaden Reed, all of a sudden coming out of the backfield. You had Wicks, who decided he was going to be the leading receiver for the day. Christian Watson decided to walk out of the woods and walk onto the football field and catch a ball finally for the first time in a couple weeks. This was incredible. Yeah, and plus the fact that Jordan Love was spreading the ball around. And again, he had to have been like, I don't remember the exact numbers, but he had to be like 60% completion percentage. And that's all I've been asking from this man.
Matthew, I said keep it tight. We got to get to Jason Wilde.
Jay, come on. You want the Packers insider or do you want Jason Bill?
All right, Matt, so we'll ask you this. All right, we'll let you go on this one because I saw you wearing your Iron Jock gear when you're out there fishing. Iron Jock poll question, will the Packers make the playoffs?
Oh, I wrote no. And, Jim, I will let you know, I hooked into a big old fish.
Yeah.
And I kind of, ducked down to, brace myself because this thing was a monster.
Yeah.
And I hooked my Iron Jock shirt. We literally had to cut it off of a treble hook.
Oh, no.
Because I hooked myself. So we're going to have to talk to Paul. We need some more Iron Jock in the building. But
we'll absolutely do that. I thought you were going to say you pulled a fish out and said, man, you smell good. I thought you were going to say, I had that fish up against my shirt, and it was just all over me, and I got home, and Jen said, you smell nice. Iron Jock holds out fish stink. But
your mind is phenomenal. I don't know why
Jimmy,
your
I
brain
haven't
went
been
there.
in Wisconsin for a while, so I'm not quite that cheesy right now. But I'll get there when I get back.
Oh, my God.
Oh, you're always that cheesy, Matt Hamilton. Thanks, Matt.
Love you guys. We'll see you.
Love you too, Matt
I
Hamilton.
love you dearly, but my head hurts all of a sudden. I have a headache.
Well, you ponder that headache. See if you can do what Braylon Allen did to get rid of his migraine. As I tell everyone about, at Canopy Wealth Management, they take the time to truly get to know and understand the dynamics of your values, goals, and plans for your family. No family fits your generic mold, neither should your financial plan. At Canopy, their clients' financial goals are something they're constantly striving to help reach maximum potential, which is why they work solely in your best interest. You define your goals, and they work towards making them happen with their comprehensive financial planning. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started with them today. That's canopy-wealth.com. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Miss any of the show? Find full show podcasts free on Wisconsin On Demand and wherever you get your podcasts.
Everywhere you look, from groceries to utilities to gas, prices keep going up. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin can dramatically help lower your energy costs year-round by replacing drafty windows and doors in as little as 6 weeks. And now you can save even more by taking advantage of no interest and no down payment for up to 36 months when you order by November 30th. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details on rents 11/30/2023.
Tired of power outages disrupting your life? Make them a thing of the past by getting a Generac home standby generator from Adams Generators. Adams Generators is the largest and #1 rated Generac dealer in Wisconsin. With 24/7 emergency support, our factory-trained technicians are standing by to assist you. Visit adamspower.com/generators to make sure your power always stays on. That's adamspower.com/generators.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
Got it. History at Camp Randall Stadium. Carter Butt with his 5th touchdown carry of the day, most ever in a Division VII state championship game.
Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania is also brought to you by Canopy Wealth Management, Pasquale's Cantina, UW Credit Union, Stoughton Trailers, the GRB Academy, and Stoughton Health.
Circus Sports is now available at American Place. Bet on your favorite Milwaukee and Wisconsin teams, from Wisconsin football and basketball to all the Milwaukee basketball action, as well as more games nationwide. The Circus Sportsbook at American Place has 36 TVs, so you won't miss any of the action. And it's just 30 minutes from Kenosha and 45 minutes from Racine. For more information and to find out about their events, go to circusports.com. All Circus Sports bets must be placed in Illinois. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text GAMB to 833-234.
Paid actor portrayal.
I didn't see it coming. Life can be so unpredictable. After losing my dad, it made me think about my family if something were to happen to me. The mortgage, car payments, and all the other bills. Even things like our annual summer vacation would be out of reach. I had heard about life insurance through Ethos and how easy it was to get coverage. They were right. I knew it was time to stop putting it off and get life insurance right now. I got on my computer and went to ethoslife.com. In just 10 minutes, I was covered. And boom, family protected. Thanks to Ethos, my family won't have to worry about the bills if the unpredictable happens to me.
Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's GETETHOS.com.
Have you met your deductible? Are you stuck waiting in line to see an orthopedic physician? The team at Orthopedic and Spine Centers of Wisconsin can see you tomorrow. Their board-certified and fellowship-trained orthopedic and spine physicians have been treating patients in the Madison area for over 3 decades. They specialize in a wide range of areas, including sports medicine, joint replacement, spine, hand surgery, and more. Convenient and accessible, their team is dedicated to getting you back to being active and doing what you love. Visit orthospinecenters.com. That's orthospinecenters.com.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership. 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde.
I'm not in a mood for drama tonight, Jason.
Why are you always trying to stir stuff up, Jason?
Is on Rutledge and Hamilton.
I don't know if I will go as far as you will.
With Jim Rutledge and Matt Hamilton.
All right, boys.
All right. Be good.
Presented by Coors Light.
Best friend of Matt LaFleur, Jason Wilde, joining the show. Says Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Hamilton, Jason, is now on vacation. He's in Key West. Or no, Key Largo. He was in Key West, now he's in Key Largo. He's making his way back to the States, one key at a time. So hopefully by the next time we talk, Matt Hamilton will be here. Instead, you got Alex Strofe with me.
I look forward to his return, yes. Well, that's fine. I enjoy Alex Strofe's work, and I would hate to compare the two. They both are special in their own way.
We were discussing who has a larger ego, Jason. Would you like to weigh in on that debate?
You versus Hamilton?
That's correct.
I don't think either one of you have big egos. You're the ultimate team players.
So Hamilton owned having an ego.
Sarcasm there.
Hamilton owned having an ego, but his response was his ego is earned.
Oh, boy.
So that might have jumped him up there.
All right, so Packers win. Big win for the Packers.
Speaking of earned egos, Jason, Jordan Love played his best game as a Packer. I do not sense any ego out of him, but Stacking success is something I know you have talked about a lot over the course of the last few weeks. We said, you and I both said last week, Pittsburgh we thought was his best game. I definitely thought yesterday was his best game yet. How important is stacking success specifically at the position he plays?
Well, first of all, in terms of ego, I thought that you were going to take this opportunity to point out that basically the game played out exactly as I said it would during our visit on Green Bay game day from the Tundra Trio. But that's fine. If you don't want to point that out, I'll point it out instead. But yes, I thought it was a really, really good day for him. And yes, we can also knock him for this was against the 31st ranked pass defense and this and that. My thing, and I hate to be like, I feel like I'm constantly, I feel like I'm America's therapist when it comes to the Green Bay Packers.
You're certainly mine.
Like, when things don't go well, I'm saying, look, the things are starting to come together after Pittsburgh, right? I'm talking, I was Mr. Positivity, right, compared to some others. And then after this now I'm kind of like, well, now slow your roll a little bit. Like, today Tausch got kind of irritated with me because I said, hey, Mitchell Trubisky had games like Jordan Love had yesterday. And that didn't necessarily mean that he was the guy. In fact, as it turned out, he wasn't the guy, right? And do I think Jordan Love's going to have a better career than Jimmy's guy? Absolutely. But that doesn't mean that just because I think that that's going to be the case. So it was a really good growth moment, and they won the football game. Those are two awesome things. Whether or not there are going to be more growth moments in defeat, I feel very confident that there will be. And there's also going to be some interceptions and some mistakes and some bad throws and some inaccuracy and some drop balls and all kinds of stuff that's going to happen. Yesterday, all these young guys, every single one of them, right, along with Jordan Love, did something good. Christian Watson caught a touchdown. He was really quiet most of the rest of the game, but he caught a touchdown. Dobbs had the go-ahead touchdown. Jaden Reed had the touchdown run. He caught some passes. He was a multi-dimensional threat. Dontavion Wicks had 3 catches for 91 yards. All 3 of his catches were for 25 or more yards. Plus, he drew that galactically stupid pass interference penalty on Asante Samuel Jr. that got them out of a 3rd and 20 hole on their own 10-yard line. Malik Heath had his first NFL regular season catch, and he blocked well in the run game. We know what Luke Musgrave can do. He had more of what he can do yesterday. And then even Tucker Kraft got into the act, right? So, to me, those guys all being productive and Jordan Love playing well, that all goes hand in hand, but it's all things that you can feel good about. And now, on Thursday, there's a good chance that they're going to go there, and maybe they put up a great fight. Maybe they win. Who knows? But the more likely scenario is the Lions take it to them again, especially how shorthanded they look like they're about to be. And we can't ride the wave. Well, fans can ride the wave all they want, but I'm going to try and discourage them from doing it.
And, Jason, you kind of started to answer one of the questions that I was going to ask there because I heard the beginning of the show, and you asked very softly of how do I contextualize this performance for Jordan Love and the Packers. And so I guess I'm gonna ask you this. Like, I'm contextualizing it like, yeah, you're right. I mean, basically, Jordan Love went out and did exactly what the Chargers allow quarterbacks to do against them. Like, any quarterback not named Tyson Bagent has had a career game against them. And so it still happened, and it's way better than the alternative of, like, if he didn't go out and do it, it wasn't gifted to him. But I guess the trade-off is I look at contextualizing of, like, what happens now when he plays a really good defense like Detroit? Because Minnesota's defense was confusing the heck out of them. That was Flores with a complicated defensive scheme, messed them up. Pittsburgh's defense allows passing yards, and Jordan Love got it. So I'm contextualizing it by let's see what happens against Detroit when he's facing a defense that can bring it, and he's on the road, and there's pressure arrived to it. Is this something or is it nothing? How are you contextualizing what Love did against the Chargers?
Yeah, there's no denying it's something. How much of a something, we have to wait and see.
Yes.
But I thought it was an important step forward. I think you should, if you're a Packers fan, you should be excited about what he did. I'm not taking that away at all. But, you know, I got Tausch putting him in the Pro Bowl now. And
I was listening.
He really did not. I'll tell you what, he really didn't like it when one of our listeners pointed out that your guy Mitch Trubisky went to a Pro Bowl in 2018 and had numbers that are better than what Jordan Love's numbers are
projecting to at the moment, right? So, again, that's not the end-all, be-all of whether a guy is good enough or not, but yesterday was a big step forward. You feel good about it. It was a bigger step than it was against Pittsburgh because they actually won the football game. But if the dropsies don't strike the Chargers offense the way they did, I thought Justin Herbert was really impressive. And there is still a chasm between what Justin Herbert is today and what Jordan Love is today. Jordan Love is striving to be as good as Justin Herbert is now.
Yeah. Absolutely. Jason, we've got like 40 seconds, so I'm just going to hit this quick. I know we talked about it on Green Bay Game Day yesterday, but after yesterday, quickly, who is the best receiver on the Packers roster right now?
Dontavion Wicks, still.
I agree.
But he's in the concussion protocol. They may not even have him on Thursday. So, again, I'm really eager to see how Thursday plays out.
Right there with you.
Jason, thanks for making the time on the short show, and enjoy Thanksgiving.
All right, fellas. Take care. Be good.
That was Jason Wilde. Make sure that it's not too late. There's going to be great deals going on at Chalmers Jewelers, but better than that, Chalmers Jewelers, whether it's for treating yourself like with a watch, you want to get custom jewelry, you want to fix jewelry, an engagement ring. It's that holiday season. What a great time to show someone how much you care about them by getting them an engagement ring. Check out Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton or in Madison. Chalmers Jewelers, they are the best custom in town. This has been Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Milwaukee Bucks basketball is coming up next.
See ya.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
We tend not to think about right now, but right now in front of us is victory over cancer. Right now, cancer research funded by the V Foundation is leading to better treatments and saving lives. When you give to the V Foundation, 100% of your donation goes directly to game-changing cancer research. Victory over cancer is there for the taking by you. Donate at v.org, because today's cancer research